Hey, welcome to Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Luke,
I'm Griffin.
and we are back again without a guest this time as our Halloween, October, spooky time month shenanigans have ended. But Griffin has chosen another movie for us. Griffin, you want to tell us what we're watching?
Yes. So today we watched the 1997 Japanese anime film Perfect Blue. Um I kind of chose this one. I was going to choose this one for a long time. So back in October, back in the long days of the cold October winds, um I went to go see this out in theaters because it had been re-releasing. I heard a lot of good things about it. So I figured, why not take the chance? So I drove all the way up to Champaign because the Charleston movie theaters, or Mattoon, I guess, that theater is closed. So I drove up to Champaign, taking a huge ass gamble here, being like, all right, this might be good, it might not be. And I drove up there. Won't give my exact rating, but I wasn't disappointed. And so I figured, hey, let's cover it on the podcast, and here we are now.
So the film stars what's her name? Junko Iwo, I think is how it's pronounced.
Junko, I think.
I think. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but she voices Mima Kirigo, the lead in this, who is a pop singer that gives up her career of singing to pursue becoming an actress, but slowly descends into a world of insanity
Yep.
and starts being stalked by this obsessed fan and different things in her past. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I cared for it that much overall. If I was gonna go give a general take, like I can appreciate what it does, but I don't walk away feeling changed or anything like that. I don't feel like impacted by it. It's just all right for me.
Upon my first watch, I, I couldn't tell what was going on. I'll be so real with you, because the movie does like a good job of showing a lot, but not really explaining what's real, what is Mima imagining, and what is actually happening on screen. Um, I kind of like how the film does that. Is that just something you didn't really care for? Like, what was kind of a for you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it does do a lot right, but we get to those points where it's her kind of going into this insane land, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I don't know if it ever could have. I don't think it ever would have. But yeah, I don't want to get too Debbie Downer yet, but I
Right.
because I do like parts of the movie, namely the animation. I'm not a huge anime fan, but the animation here is pretty smooth. For the parts of gore that are present, they don't hold anything back, which is a nice touch. But that being said, there are moments where the animation does not hold up in quality that well.
Yeah.
Some character models are just very strange, and it's not like in an artistic way of strange. It's not what a person looks like. So it bothers me, and I'm like, I don't know why you can consistently portray one person this way, but then the next person is not at all captured like that.
So, yeah, I mean, anime in general, I mean, most of the faces aren't going to be realistic in most anime anyway. But with Perfect Blue, I think it does kind of do a good job of looking more realistic than most other animes do. Uh, like just kind of looking at the characters, like they could be people that you see every day out in the street. Whereas with anime, I mean, everyone kind of looks the same. Not gonna lie, but I do like with the animation overall. It is very high quality. Um, just a lot of the details really add up. Like with the gore too, like you said, they don't hold back with the murders and uh when if me was being stalked or attacked or if she's has this defend herself, all those are sequenced really well and it's pretty easy to follow, I feel. Well, I mean, most of the time, it's right.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that here in a minute, but
There's an asterisk kind of easy to follow, but
yeah, I I did not find it easy to follow at all. But before I want to get into that, with the animation too, like there are also these establishing shots of the apartments that in the cityscape that surrounds Mima's apartment.
Yeah.
And those are all like really well done. I love those shots. And it also kind of highlights how, even though everything is just storyboards for this, because that's pretty much how animation goes anyway,
Pretty much, yeah.
that it is all framed as if it was being filmed. So you have all of these wide shots, tracking shots, establishing shots, all these like your basic level stuff.
Right.
And it's not shying away from any of that. And I give it credit for that. There's also these instances of horror and suspense in here that's done really well. I do appreciate that, where most of it is psychological, and that kind of leans into the part that I don't vibe with for this movie. But the music also helps with that because the score is like a weird mix of a crowd cheering, but also like some flying animal buzzing in the wind as well. And I don't really know what's up with that. I don't know if you caught it. Like, I don't know if that's how it was made, but like that's how it sounds to me.
It's a interesting interpretation. I didn't quite have that, but
Yeah, that's kind of where my enjoyment of this movie ends. Because I have never liked a movie, and I will never beat those allegations. I'm so sorry. So Griffin, I want to know more about what you like with this movie before I start ragging on it a little.
and before I have to, constantly defend being like, oh no, they did it this way. Before I go full nerd on you. Um, but like overall, what I did like about this movie, the horror is the main appeal to it. Like, most of it's psychological because like Mia starts to begin to suffer from a dissociative identity disorder, which is just DID for short. I don't know if I'll abbreviate it like that, but and like part of that kind of plays into like not knowing what's real. Like a lot of stuff kind of like plays out in her head. Like she's mixing up a lot of stuff with like her acting career, like and she's having visions of like the pop idol version of herself too. And so the movie does like a really good job of like blending that all together into a sequence where it's like you will need like a rewatch to kind of like fully be able to understand the sequencing a little better, because upon a first watch, like you're not gonna get 100%. Like it just, you can't follow it up along like that.
I will vouch for this.
Yeah, no, I will too, because this the second time I've seen it. First time leaving theaters, I was like, what in the actual but yeah, just the horror is what I like about it. Like as I said too, like the soundtrack, like I didn't quite get like the, how did you describe it again? Just
Like the soundtrack described?
yeah, like how did you describe it?
It was like a crowd cheering with this mix of like some buzzing sound.
Okay, yeah. There, I don't fully see that in there, but like I guess I can kind of see how you think that.
There's one like specific scene with it. I think it's like when she's in her apartment or something, but the most of the other score is like piano kind of.
Or like there's that one song at the beginning where they're all singing and whatnot too. I mean, there's like a few songs with like the band, what's the band's name? Cham. Like that's part of the soundtrack too. Yeah.
Yeah. My main gripe, I think, with this movie boils down to the pacing and plot, because both are intertwined, and then every issue that I have stems from these two problems.
Okay.
This movie is very fast paced, and I appreciate that for the first like half of it, because I'm like, sweet, you're not wasting my time. It's like an hour, hour 20?
Less than 90 minutes. It's a really short film.
Yeah, which I appreciate, because I don't want to be sitting here forever doing that. I got laundry to do. So like, I'm glad that I'm not having my time wasted. The movie's getting right to the point. But then we get to these last like, I think 40, 30 minutes, somewhere in that range, where it's a lot of whiplash. That's the only way that I can explain it for me, is whiplash, because there's this whole sequence where Mima keeps going through something traumatic, waking up in bed, going through something else traumatic, waking up in bed, and it's like this vicious cycle of it repeats, to where I don't know what's actually happening anymore, because prior to this, it's pretty straightforward that like, she quit her music career. She wants to be this aspiring actress, and in the path of that, there's this like vision ghost thingy that's kind of haunting her, where it's like representing a past version of her almost. And it's like, oh, well, do you miss that life? Like, are you really doing what you want to do with your life? And I'm like, yeah, I'm on board with that. I'm following pretty well. And then it falls off, and I don't know where we're going anymore because there's this random guy, Mamania, I think is how it's pronounced. Mamania. Yeah, Mamania. Yeah, he's like in the background this whole time, but then we get to this one scene where he's there and then magically disappears. So, like, was he actually there or not? I don't know. We get to this weird like recreation of a rape scene in the movie, and it's weird that we get two of these in the movie. One's fake and one's legit. And then he disappears again, but then randomly shows up again at the end, and he's actually dead. So I don't know what's real, and I don't know if that's meant to like put me in. I keep forgetting names. Mima's shoes. Like, I don't know because if she's going through the same thing, right, she's diving into this insanity, like, whoa, what's a real or not? But then it's like all randomly takes this backstep where it's framed from like, oh, she thinks that everything traumatic's happening to her on a TV show. And I'm like, okay, so did everything prior to this not exist? But then the scene after that like undermines it and basically is like, oh, well, no, like that actually happened, but we're going back to set today anyway. And then she has like dissociative identity disorder, but then randomly is pretty conscious later, so I know she doesn't. Like, I don't know
Right.
where we're going with this. You've lost me.
Like the director of Perfect Blue, his name is Satoshi Kon. He's kind of known for like his very weird, obscure, like you don't know what's happening kind of movies. It's like another famous one of his movies is Paprika. And like it's a movie where it's kind of like it blends like a dream world and real life together. And it's also kind of rumored that Inception was kind of loosely based off of it too, but that's a whole different talking point. Point is, like a lot of his films, like they're very much like he makes these films like to like to not really gain the audience's trust of like knowing what's going on, and like he structures the story in a way where it's like it kind of keeps you guessing, and like you're kind of meant to interpret it in a certain way, um or like kind of find out like your own plot or like what's going on, what's real. And like with the whole sequence of flashbacks you mentioned, like she wakes up and then like a few things happen to her, and then she wakes up again, and that happens a few times. um that could definitely just be like she interacting, like she has to do a scene with many different takes, and like in her head that's just kind of like what her life kind of feels like now. Like each day is just like a different take that she has to go through, because like with her blog, it's like Mima's room that's being written by her manager. Spoiler alert. Um like that's kind of like in a way it's like narrating her own life. Like Rumi has, obviously she has like a mania who's stalking her, and like Mima reads the blog and it's like, oh, I guess I did that today. And it's just like even she begins to kind of like doubt what she's doing is real. So I think in a way like the film does that really well.
I disagree. Maybe not with that part specifically, but more so with the part of like being able to come up with your own interpretation of the plot for it based on the sporadic unknown of everything. Like, there's a way for that to be done right. But the takeaway of the plot I have is that there is no plot because I don't know what happens for the last 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, I'm lost. And there are so many little instances of me just, like you said, questioning it, but not in a thought provoking way. It's more so in a continuity way where I'm like, that straight up didn't happen. And if it did, it's off screen. A good example of this is a scene where somebody's like, oh, well, when all those men got murdered, well, I kept track. Two people died up until that point. So who are all of these men? It's two people. That, yeah, something happened off screen or it's not elaborated. I don't know.
So in total, we know that on screen there was 4 displayed deaths. There was Mamania, there's the photographer, there's like her other boss, I forget his name exactly, and there's the dude in the elevator.
Yeah. So up to the point of when this dialogue happens, only 2 of those deaths actually happen, but it's like implied that more have died. So I don't know, but like not getting into that and just randomly being like, oh, well, and all those people died. It's such a shame. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because I've not seen that happen. And then you mentioned the photographer too, because I got another gripe with him where he's an. But see, I don't know like what the photographer's deal is, right? Because we get up to him and he's like, "Oh, can I do a photo shoot of Yumima or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." They go for it, do the photo shoot or whatever. And then it gets done, and then like randomly later on in the movie, he dies, right? And the press is like, "Oh, Mima did it. Mima did it." They're all like over her, but it was one photo shoot. That's the only time they've interacted before, if I'm not mistaken. So why in the world would you assume that she had anything to do with it if he's just a photographer? He does that often, no?
Because I think like up until that point, like there was already a murder kind of related to a production that Mima was in, and like since uh since like Mima was probably like the last subject of his photo shoot, like it was probably easy to kind of put two and two together in a way.
Yeah, like that part's fine. Like if it's the last person you interacted with, you can talk to him about it. But straight up just being like, "Oh, it was you," well, so we're just making shit up now. That's cool, I guess.
Right.
And and also as a journalist, like you're from the press and you're just making shit up. Like, no, get out of here. But then like later, also there's this random thing where you get the same shots of the photo shoot, but they're nude versions of the same photos you already saw. And there's like a joke briefly in here about it, but like I don't know if that photo shoot actually went that way after what we see, like because it's intercut weirdly where it's like, is that real or not? I don't know, but it's not clear, and I have no explanation. And this photographer who supposedly is this bad guy is dead already, but he had one interaction with Mima, so I don't know. I don't know. I can't follow this. It's just too sporadic and over the place for me.
And like that's a fair point too. It's just like sometimes like maybe the sequencing doesn't make sense or like it like I'll s- said it once, I'll say it again. It's hard to keep track of what's real and what's not in this movie. Like over but overall that's kind of at the same time that's kind of like the point is like to not be able to really trust Mima as like a reliable narrator. Um and like in the end when it's revealed that another spoiler alert by the way. When it's revealed that it's Rumi committing the murders and like and her reasoning behind it is like she used to be a pop idol herself and like like in her eyes like Mila shouldn't be like throwing away such a good career to so like she's trying to like kind of replace Mima in a way so she can get kind of get back to her glory days too. And so like and the way she goes about doing that is really weird. Like obviously she creates the blog and like her intentions are to send Mima down to like the same crazy downward spiral that she herself is also going through because Rumi is also suffering from dissociative identity disorder and like her plan is to kind of push Mima to the brink of insanity and to just kind of break her mentally, but like at the same time like Rumi's kind of going crazy herself and like in the end too it's like she doesn't break free from that insanity either but like Mima does. It's like and and like I myself still wonder like how did Mima like actually fully recover from that? It's just like how is she not going crazy anymore? But it's like it turns out like Rumi was the one like who was like truly crazy in the first place and the one who was sending Mima down to that downward spiral.
Yeah, and that's another weird thing where like you get into this last few moments and scenes and stuff where for me I can't tell if it's a real person or this vision of like a past version of Mima chasing down, but then supposedly they're wearing a mask that makes them look like Rumi or Mima, but then also it looks like the one manager lady, but then it's not exactly the same. So like I'm very lost in following this.
So yeah, during that final like chase scene, it really is Rumi that time, but it's like Mima is convinced that it's like a weird pop idol version of herself that's chasing her too. But like she kind of slowly comes to realize it is actually Rumi who is behind all this too.
Yeah, I think just because I can't follow it. I don't know what's happening. There's a lot of inconsistencies. Most of them end up happening off screen, like I said.
Right.
It just kind of leaves things mid in terms of plot. Like I don't care. I'm not moved. I can't follow it, so then I'm just questioning the continuity of it. I walk away and I'm like, wow, my laundry's done. So like I don't know. I don't have any like super crazy thoughts about anything on this one.
That's a fair take. I don't really agree with it 100%. I kind of like being left in the dark a little bit. It's just kind of that kind of leads me into a more general question too. Like, should a film be straight up with its plot? Like, should it always kind of be giving you an idea of what's happening? Like, is that just kind of more, is that like a better storytelling device than like what Perfect Blue does with like not really letting you know what's going on 100% of the time, or like leaving away so that you can't tell what's going on? Like, uh, it's like, should a film be straight up with its plot or no?
I don't think it necessarily has to. However, you do need to be some way like that in some way, shape, or form. I think we were talking about Inception last episode, so I'll bring that one back up, where the movie at its start pretty well lays out what's going on, right? You're going to go into these dreams and that sort of thing. And then it's like, oh, well, within this dream, we got a dream again. And so you kind of get this deeper level of it. But then throughout all of that, you get to the end where, spoilers for Inception, you don't know if he's dreaming at the end or not, right?
Right.
To me, that's where this ambiguous part comes in, where it's like, oh, well, it's ambiguous. It's up for you to determine. Same with last episode, where the ending for that movie is also ambiguous, but the plot up until then is straightforward enough that you can follow it. So whenever you get to that ambiguous point, it makes sense why it's ambiguous. For here, I don't feel that way because like it's straightforward, but then randomly has a bunch of inconsistencies in scenes that like are leaving things out or making or saying things that just either didn't happen or did off screen. And then it's ambiguous to where I'm left in the dark, but not in a good way. It's not like an Inception left in the dark. Was he dreaming or not? It's like a Perfect Blue in left in the dark where I don't know what just happened.
So like, I haven't seen Inception myself. I know, blame me for that one, but yeah, I mean, Perfect Blue, like it's not clear at all at 100%. I will agree with you on that. Um, I will kind of disagree with like, I mean, I do kind of disagree with like where I do think it's kind of well done in a way. Um, because like I think it does a good job with like setting up like an unreliable narrator, and like because you can't fully trust Mima, and like her perspective of events is like obviously skewed, and like some moments like she's on the TV set filming her show, some moments like she's being chased by her pop idol self, and like some moments like it, like especially in the later half, second half of the movie, it's like it's not sequenced like in a way where it kind of makes sense, but like at the same time too, I think it kind of aids the plot well in that way too. Like I know you disagree on that too, but um
Yeah. I don't have anything else to like say on that. I don't know. It's mid for me. I don't take anything away from it. I don't come to it with anything. It's ambiguous, not in a good way. It has some elements that I do like the voice acting is really strong. I do like the animation. I love the way that things are shot, but
and you watched the English version, right?
yeah, I think I ended up watching the English dub because it defaulted to that for some reason, and I just didn't know that it wasn't meant to be that way.
You didn't seek out the Japanese version, but if if you have the heart to rewatch it, I don't know if
Probably not. So
Tyler, but should it pique your curiosity, I would recommend watching the Japanese dub over the English.
yeah, usually when there's like English dubs of things, I like to watch the original with the subtitles, but it defaulted to English, and I just assumed that that's how it was because I don't know any better. So my bad, I guess. But yeah, and with me just not, it sounds so terrible, but I just genuinely don't care. And like getting through the movie, right, and I get done trying to like think deeply about it on like a deep thought or anything. The best I have is if she has dissociative identity disorder, because the last 30, 40 minutes I genuinely cannot follow because I don't know what's happening. And it irks me to no end to where like I don't think she's having that, but
You don't think she has dissociative identity disorder?
I don't think so because like there's a lot of instances where like it suggests that, but then moves on and like counter undermines it to where it's like, no, it's just like legitimate or whatever. Like this, the scene where they're talking with the therapist, right? And then the next scene is of that scene on the television screen. To me, that's like saying, okay, well, it's just part of the show. It's something they were recording. She's already in there. So she's not like actually going through that. But then it gets so weird, murky towards the end where like supposedly she does, but I don't know. I can't follow it. Like my brain just cannot compute
I feel
that.
like that one scene with the therapist, like it is part of her TV show. Like that part's absolutely correct. But like at the same time too, it's like, is she mixing her acting career up with like her real life too? And like in that way, like that kind of makes me think like, oh, she does have dissociative identity disorder. And even if like she doesn't, like Rumi definitely does. Because like she
Yeah,
still thinks she's a pop idol, and like even in the end, like she looks at her reflection in a mirror and she still sees like the pop idol version of Mima in her reflection. Like she doesn't see herself.
yeah, that part I'll agree with you on because that one's like clear cut enough for me to guess that,
Right.
and it's inferred enough that I can understand that. But for the rest of it, I don't know, man. It just doesn't work for me.
Okay, that's but yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty cut and clear. Like Mima's like maybe she doesn't like fully have it because like she doesn't get like as down deep into the mess as Rumi already is, but like had the movie gone on like for a little bit longer and like had more stuff happen, like Mima definitely would have developed dissociative identity disorder, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It was, I know it's a lot to unpack, but
Yeah, it's. I walk away feeling like I watched mid. I don't know, but
I was, I, I'm gonna guess you were confused after watching.
I'm
Oh,
still confused, dude. Like I still don't know what happened.
right,
Like I know what happens, but like
right, but
I
like
don't understand what
for
happens.
you, it's not like a good kind of confused, like
Yeah, it's just pure confusion. I'm
it's
not
just
like, oh, it's very thought provoking that I'm confused for this because I can read into it and find it. No, it's not. None of that. I'm just straight up baffled.
I guess yeah, no, we both had different kinds of confused then, because I mean, for me, when I left the theater watching this for the first time, like I had an entire car ride home just be like, what did I watch? Like, what was real? Like, what was happening? And like, that's kind of what I was like for the entire car ride. Um, but like, well, like that feeling of confusion, like it's just gonna depend on the person, honestly. Because like for me, it was a good kind of confusing where, I wanted to give it a rewatch and I wanted to see like would would watching it a second time, give me a better perspective on like what happened, what was real. And I say for the most part, like it definitely helps. Because like I kind of knew what to anticipate. I knew like kind of what was coming, knew what to expect. Um, I'd still say it wasn't 100% clear like what was real, what was not, but like for some scenes it was definitely pretty much clarified what was going on.
Yeah, and I know we're probably getting close to ratings. I think,
Probably.
but uh, even though Griffin and I are gonna have two very different takes on this movie, just throughout the episode and ratings, I will still encourage you to at least watch it.
Yes.
Like it's one thing, and this goes for the reviews that we both write to the Den, but like just because we say a movie is good or bad should not be the reason that you watch it. Even if I joke offhand where I'm like, oh, you don't need to watch that, or like you really need to watch that. Like if you're interested in it, watch it yourself, form your own opinion.
Right. I'm never gonna tell someone don't watch your movie. I will always encourage that person like watch it, get your own perspective, talk to me if you want to. But but yeah, I'm never gonna say like straight up like no, don't watch this movie or something like that.
Unless it's War of the Worlds 2025. That one you can that one very seriously, you don't need to watch that one.
I do not feel compelled to watch it. So
Well, with that being said, do you think we're ready for some ratings?
I believe we are.
All right, you're up first.
All right. I am going, all things considered, I am going to give this film a 5 out of 5. It's the first time I've heard that all out of so well. Ah, um, I I think Perfect Blue does a really good job with its horror. Like it's very fast paced. It's the gore is very real. It's very there. And it's very immersive too. And it's confusing as all too. Like on your first watch through, you're not gonna know what's going on. And that's just kind of how the film works out. That's kind of how Satoshi Kon's works usually are. It it blends reality and like thoughts together a lot. That's just kind of his style. Would recommend checking out the rest of his films too. But Perfect Blue is definitely probably my favorite out of the ones that I have watched. I think I've watched like two others of his movies, I believe. Um, yeah, Perfect Blue. 5 out of 5 for me. So Luke,
Alrighty.
as the dude who has not liked a movie, what would you give it?
Well, I've said the whole episode that it's mid, and I still stand by that. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I think. You mess that up. But yeah, we're gonna go middle of the road. Like I said, and kind of piggybacking off your immersive side, like the animation in it and the way that everything is shot within those frames is really well done. I do like the voice acting. I know I ended up watching the English dub and not the Japanese one, but it still holds up, I think.
I think like either version's fine, but like the Japanese dub is what kind of gets you immersed because it is like a Japanese animation.
And outside of that, I don't have much else to praise. Like, yeah, it gets some of those horror elements right and all that, but it just falls off so quickly towards the end for me to where it's so confusing, but not in a thought-provoking confused way. It's just confusing.
Right.
And I walk away and I don't know, nor do I care. And that confusion is also probably why I can never watch Tenet. I've tried so many times, and that's another movie that confuses the hell out of me, and I can't understand it. Like, even though I've like had someone break it down to me, and I still don't get it. That one I'm just too stupid to understand. But like,
Have you seen it in full or not? I mean, I haven't. I'm just asking. Like, I know it's like a confusing movie, but like, have you seen it?
yeah, I've seen Tenet in full,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. This movie, for me, it's just pretty mid. It's all right. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's also nothing too special for me either.
Right.
But with that being said, I think
I think.
we've gotten our work done here.
I think so.
Well, for the time being, I'm Luke.
I'm Griffin.
We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.